We have a whisper number out of China for the CPI. They say that it has fallen to 4.6% from 5.1% in November. We had inflation really feeding through in the UK. We've got inflation data out in South Africa today. What are you expecting?
Good morning, Eleni. Yes, I think inflation is becoming a big concern for investors out there. Of course, we've had very accommodative monetary conditions the world over. Interest rates have been at those record lows. There's been quantitative easing pumped into the system. And added to that, we've also had an environment where certain currencies, particularly in the developed world, have been sort of depreciating quite extensively. The net result is that they're importing a lot of inflation. Commodity prices are high because the dollar has been weak, and it's all sort of pointing towards quite a nasty inflation storm further down the line. And of course, you mentioned those European inflation numbers, and the question now people are asking is whether or not actually the ECB or the BOE might actually pip the Fed in terms of hiking its interest rate cycle.
All right, let's touch on retail sales as well, because that is also going to be under the spotlight today. And just to put it into perspective from where we've come from, in 2009 in April, we were at minus 6.8%. So we saw massive contraction coming through for retail sales. We're sitting at around 6.1%. That was the number for October. What are you expecting there, Michael?
Yeah, they're expecting further upward drift in retail sales figures, up to around 6.8, maybe even 7% year on year. And if you couple that with last week's kind of at least consumer, vehicle sales figures, as well as the manufacturing data that we saw from Stats SA, it's suggesting that the South African economy is finding its feet. Together with today's inflation print, if that comes out to the top side, everyone's expecting 3.6, which would be flat on the month. But if inflation surprises to the upside, as it well might because of the high survey month that we have in December, then I think the chances of an interest rate cut tomorrow are very unlikely.
Michael, that said, where do you peg the rand going forward this week?
Well, it seems to be stuck within this kind of 95 down to 80 range. Everyone's waiting to see not only the MPC decision, but of course the MPC statement. At this stage, it seems as though we've had a lot more accumulation from the authorities, coupled with the diminishing prospect of an interest rate cut does not bode well for the rand, and that's why it's actually underperforming a lot of its emerging market and current commodity-based currency peers. It's still one of the worst performing currencies over the past week, and I think it's those two forces that are keeping it in that underperforming space.